I was diagnosed with squamous cell carcinoma of the tongue, which is tongue cancer, and back in it was actually New Year's Eve 2018, 2019. So Happy New Year! Yeah, and it was stage 1, thankfully, so they caught it really early. Autumn 2018, I noticed an ulcer appearing on my tongue. Now, I was freshly engaged and I just thought the wedding flutters got to me and I was feeling stressed. So I called it a stress ulcer. Went to a pharmacist, got some bits to help me for it to heal. I've never had an ulcer before, so I didn't know what an ulcer should feel like. And then it just didn't heal, and the pharmacist very quickly referred me to my dentist, mainly because one of the symptoms that I had was when I ate chocolate it really burnt, which isn't usual for an ulcer. So the dentist saw me a few times and decided actually this is still not healing, and then referred me to the Norfolk and Norwich Hospital, to the oral health department, who then after a little bit longer had a biopsy done, which to everyone's surprise turned out to be squamous cell carcinoma. Mostly because it's not typical for my age group. I wasn't geared up to hear the word cancer, let alone tongue cancer, because I didn't know that existed. I didn't know that was even a possibility to develop cancer in your tongue. So it was a bit of a shock, but I must admit in the appointment itself I was very much, okay, fine. How long will it take? What do we do next? What do I need to do next week, because I've got work on. So I was really pragmatic about it, but it was actually looking at my other half's face that it's helped me sink in that this is a really serious situation. It was a huge unknown. So I knew about breast cancer, I knew about prostate cancer, don't have one, but you know, there's all these other cancers that I was aware of, and with tongue cancer I didn't know what it is, how it would be treated, how treatable it was, how aggressive it was. And also I think having something that's in your face or inside your head that, well, in my case, inside my mouth, is very up close and personal. So whenever someone had to look at it or inspect it, you know, the hands are by your eyes, you can't really, yeah, it's really intrusive in that sort of sense. I think my fiance took it pretty hard. He was really concerned, and also I think it's the time where we were in our life with being young. You know, we were freshly engaged, we were just about to put an offer on a house. Our careers have only just sort of manifested, you know, into stability. And then suddenly it was all turned upside down. So all the plans we had, even for the next week, were no longer relevant. Everything had changed overnight. And I think his concern for me was very obvious, and that was, I mean, it was a nice feeling. I thought, oh, that's good. Pass that test, tick. But at the same time, it was like, what does that mean? What does that mean for him as well? Like, if I am left severely disabled by this, which at the time we didn't know, like, what does that mean for his life, having to care for someone? If he wanted support or had questions he wanted to ask someone that he didn't want to ask me, he had a place to go. So that, it was always there. If he used it or not, I don't know, I have to be honest. But I gave him the leaflet at the beginning. I said, honey, if you need the support, it's there. And I'm sure that he's very aware that it was always there, and used that as a reassurance as well. My parents live abroad, so breaking the news via FaceTime was difficult. It had the effect that one parent found it hard to compute the reality of it, and actually went into a stage of disbelief for quite a long time, and just was like, no, they've got it wrong, or think positive, or no, it's fine, it's not as bad. So they went into complete stage of denial until, you know, once the operation happened, it was like, oh gosh, this is really happening. And then the other side of my family, the other parent, they just cried. non-stop, and it was like baby girl was happening to my baby girl, but the distance, and I guess this is sort of related, I can be relatable for people diagnosed during the pandemic, is the fact we had this distance. We never saw each other until after my treatment. That was really difficult actually to manage that, to deal with that. Yeah, and my friends were just great. They were all in shock, but I think the best response I ever received was someone like saying, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry for you," but at the same time going, "You know what, you've got this. If anyone has it, you've got it." And I really needed to hear that, and I thought, yeah, you're right, I can do this. So having that sort of positive reinforcement really helped, without it being like, "Oh, you'll be all right," you know, it's that balance. Personal diagnosis that I was going to bounce back. It was just going to take time. So yeah, I did have like someone, before I openly announced that I had cancer in those little twilight days, someone asked me, "Oh, I guess that's the end of your company and you're winding down." I was like, no, just a bit overwhelmed and bewildered by all the information that was sort of thrown at me that I at times couldn't really take in or understand. So I remember I sort of wandered in here and went, "Hello, can you help me please?"